The cold lights of the Galactic Hospital blinked quietly above. Everything in the ICU was silent. Machines hummed. Screens showed straight lines. A tiny alien boy, no older than 6, lay on a silver bed, his chest still. His skin, once glowing, now looked dull and pale. A group of alien doctors stood around him. One of them, with green scales and narrow eyes, checked the monitor one last time. Flatline. No heartbeat. No brain activity. "He's gone," the doctor whispered. The boy's mother stood near the bed. She was small and thin, with soft pink skin and large golden eyes. Her hand shook as she touched her child's tiny fingers. No, he's just sleeping," she cried softly. Another doctor placed a hand on her shoulder. "We tried everything. His system collapsed. There was no response." The mother screamed as they pulled a white cover over the boy's face. Her knees gave out, and she fell to the cold floor. Her cry echoed in the sterile room. The other patients and nurses in nearby rooms stopped what they were doing. Everyone in the hospital knew what that cry meant. A mother had lost her child. But then, the ICU doors slid open with a hiss. A man walked in. He was human. His boots were dusty. His clothes were simple, like someone who had just walked from a desert. He had a tired face, dark stubble on his chin, and a scar that ran down one side of his cheek. His eyes were calm, quiet, but sharp. The doctors turned toward him. "Who are you?" "This area is restricted," said one of them. The human didn't answer. He looked straight at the boy's bed. Then he looked at the mother on the floor. He took slow, steady steps forward. "Stop. You are not allowed here." Another doctor shouted. But the man didn't stop. He reached the bed. He pulled the white cover down from the boy's face. He looked at him closely. Then he pulled something from his jacket. It was a small device. Old. Dusty. It looked like it came from Earth, hundreds of years ago. The alien doctors laughed. "That's ancient. Human tech. It's useless now." The man didn't reply. He knelt down beside the bed. Quiet. Focused. He placed the device gently on the boy's chest. The mother gasped. "What are you doing to my son?" The human looked at her. "Helping." The device lit up. A low hum filled the air. A red light blinked, then a small spark. The boy's chest jerked once, then again. A beep came from the alien monitor. The flatline changed. The screen showed something moving. The doctors blinked. One of them stepped forward in disbelief. "Is that a heartbeat?" Another doctor checked the pulse manually. "His body temperature is rising, brain waves are returning." The mother crawled up, eyes wide. She reached for her boy's hand again. It twitched. Her lips trembled. He's alive?" she whispered. The boy's eyes slowly opened. He looked weak, but he looked alive. The entire room stood frozen. No one moved. No one spoke. The human stood up slowly and turned around. His face showed no pride, no emotion, just calm. One of the doctors grabbed his arm. "Who are you? What did you do? How did you—" The man gently removed the hand from his arm. "I was told he needed help." "By who?" He didn't answer. Instead, he walked to the mother and knelt down beside her. "He'll need rest, food, keep him warm." He placed something small in her hand. It looked like a round crystal glowing softly. "What is this?" she asked, her voice shaking. "It will protect him when I'm gone." "Wait, where are you going?" the mother cried. But the man had already turned and walked back toward the doors. Security robots stood outside now. They aimed scanners at him. But the moment he walked through them, the scanners glitched. The machines buzzed, sparked, and shut off. The doors closed behind him. The mother held her son close. She looked down at the glowing crystal. Who was that human? No one in the hospital could answer, but the story had already begun to spread. The tiny alien boy was breathing, slowly, weakly, but alive. The hospital room, once full of silence and sorrow, now buzzed with shock. Nurses ran around checking monitors. Doctors whispered to each other in disbelief. None of them could explain what had just happened. The human was gone. But his action had left the hospital shaking. The alien mother sat beside her son, holding his hand gently. Her eyes were red from crying, but now full of hope. Her child, the one everyone gave up on, was alive. The strange device the human had used was still on the bed. It blinked once, then stopped. The symbol on its side looked like an ancient Earth military sign, something long forgotten. "Doctor, he's stabilizing," one nurse shouted. "Heart rate increasing, brainwaves steady." The head doctor stepped forward, rubbing his temples. "This doesn't make sense. Nothing we used worked, but a broken human tool and did this," another nurse added. "The boy's cell structure is changing." Everyone turned. "What do you mean changing?" the doctor asked. She pulled up a holographic screen. "His cells, they're adapting, rebuilding faster than before. He's healing in ways our tech doesn't understand." They scanned again. There was something strange in the boy's DNA. Something new. A signature that wasn't there before. And it matched human genetics. In the hallway outside, a quiet tension spread. Security teams whispered, watching the footage of the mysterious human man. He entered with no ID, no galactic signature, no trace on the station logs. "How did he bypass our systems?" one guard asked. No one had an answer. The footage showed him clearly, his face, his movements. He had walked like he knew where he was going, like someone had sent him. "Replay the audio," a tech said. The man's voice played again. "I was told he needed help." "Who told him?" the tech whispered. Back inside the ICU, the mother touched the crystal the human had given her. It was warm. Soft light glowed from inside it, pulsing slowly, matching her son's heartbeat. Suddenly, it blinked twice. A soft voice echoed from it. "He is not just a child. He is a key." The mother froze. "Did you hear that?" she asked the nurse beside her. "No." "Hear what?" The voice had only spoken to her. She held the crystal tighter, her eyes locked onto her son. Something was happening, something bigger than she could understand. Later that night, the hospital staff gathered in a private chamber. "We need to alert the Galactic Medical Council," one doctor said. "No," the head doctor replied. "Not yet. If word gets out that a human revived the dead using lost tech, there will be chaos." "But this is a miracle." "Exactly," the head doctor said firmly. "And miracles scare people." Meanwhile, deep under the hospital, inside a hidden observation chamber, an old alien woman watched the screen. Her skin was wrinkled like dried leather and her eyes glowed dim blue. She was the founder of the hospital, and behind her, old war medals rested on shelves. She had seen many strange things in her life, but this human, he's not just a traveler, she said. He carries something ancient, something we once feared. A young assistant stood beside her. "What should we do?" The old woman leaned forward. "Find him, before others do." At that same moment, on the upper levels of the space station, a group of masked agents received a secret message, a bounty, not for the boy, not for the mother, but for the human with no name. Back in the boy's room, he finally spoke. "Mama." The mother leaned close. "I'm here, my little moonlight." He looked at her, eyes glowing a strange silver color. "The man who touched me, he was warm. He said I had to wake up, that people are coming." The mother held back tears. "He saved you." The boy smiled weakly. He said, "I'm important." She hugged him tightly, but deep inside she now feared something she never expected. Why her son? Why now? And who exactly was that human man? The lights in the hospital corridor flickered, not because of a power failure, but because the entire space station had fallen into a strange silence. Everyone was talking about one thing, the dead boy who came back to life. and the unknown human who made it happen, but no one said it loudly. It was like a secret being passed from mouth to mouth. Quiet, careful, scared. Doctors whispered in break rooms. Nurses looked over their shoulders before speaking. Did you see him? I heard he didn't even touch the machines. Security tried to scan him and everything short-circuited. That's not a man, that's something else. A young alien nurse named Ilari walked quickly down the hall. Her mind was racing. She had watched the boy die. She had heard the flatline. Now the boy was alive, smiling, and somehow stronger than before. She didn't understand. She slipped into a private staff room and found Dr. Varn, her mentor. He was sitting alone, replaying the security footage, again and again. You've watched it 12 times, she said quietly. Varn didn't look at her. And I still don't understand it. Do you believe in legends? She asked. He turned toward her. What legends? Ilari hesitated. My grandmother told stories about ancient humans. Not the humans we know now. Scared, weak, drifting between stars. But old ones. Ones who could heal, walk through energy fields, even command machines with thought. Varn gave a tired laugh. That's just bedtime talk for hatchlings. Then explain this, Ilari said, pointing at the boy's newest scan. His cells are rebuilding, yes, but they are responding to something like they're being guided. Guided by what? She held up the strange, glowing crystal the human had given the mother. Maybe this. Maybe him. Elsewhere, near the High Council wing, a group of powerful aliens met in secret. He was a ghost in the system, one of them said, eyes like glass. No entry logs, no exit trace. It's like he walked in from nowhere and walked out the same. But he left a trail, said another. A boy who now holds human-coded DNA. A mother who claims the crystal spoke to her. One old alien with 6 eyes leaned forward. This is not random. This is a message. A message from who? The old one's voice dropped low. The ancients are moving again. Everyone in the room went still. In the room where the boy now rested, strange things began to happen. The monitors stopped beeping, yet they still showed perfect vitals. Lights dimmed, but no one had changed the settings. The boy's eyes had changed color again, now shining like twin suns, gold and soft white. He looked calm, but every now and then he turned his head, as if listening to a voice only he could hear. His mother watched over him quietly. But even she was starting to feel something different in the air. Her son had returned, but something had returned with him. Down in the hospital's underlevels, security staff examined the strange device left by the human. This technology is over 300 years old, said one. It shouldn't even work. Another replied, not only did it work, it changed a boy's biology. This isn't a tool, this is a key to something. Suddenly, the device pulsed once and went dark. The lab lights flickered. All screens shut off for 3 seconds. Then everything rebooted with one message flashing on every terminal. He is awake. The scientists backed away, eyes wide. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the city beyond the hospital, a cloaked figure watched the building through digital eyes. A voice buzzed in her ear. Target identified, human male, codenamed the Walker. Permission to engage? The voice on the other end paused, then responded, No, not yet. He is protected, and the boy must not be harmed. The figure faded back into the alley. Whatever this was, it wasn't just a medical miracle. It was the beginning of something much bigger. And somewhere in the dark corners of space, far from the station, a hidden ship powered up. Old Earth markings were carved into its hull, covered by alien vines and time. Inside, a second human opened his eyes and whispered, He's returned. His face was now on every hidden screen in the space station. The man who revived a dead alien boy, without using any known technology, and then vanished. Security scanned every sector, every gate, every database. But there was one problem. He didn't exist. No ID, no digital trail, no travel logs, no family history in any human colony. Nothing. It was like he walked in from thin air. A cyber analyst named Zeke, half human and half machine, stared at his control panel deep inside the Galactic Registry Tower. He ran over 100 identity checks using every scanner known to the Council. Nothing worked. Finally, he removed his glasses and muttered, "He's not off the grid, he's from before the grid." "What do you mean?" his assistant asked. Zeke leaned closer. "I've only seen a trace like this once. From the old Earth War files. The secret ones, the pre-collapse human records. It's as if—" He stopped speaking, because the face on the screen began to change. It blinked, on its own. The digital image looked right at him. Zeke jumped back in fear. "Shut it down, shut it!" The screen went black. Back at the hospital, the alien mother sat quietly beside her recovering son. She hadn't slept. She hadn't eaten. But her eyes were full of wonder now, not fear. The boy smiled again. His voice was soft but steady. "Mama, he's still here." She looked around. "Where?" The boy touched the glowing crystal on the table beside his bed. Not in body, but watching. The crystal pulsed once. Soft blue light spilled across the floor. Dr. Varn entered the room. He bowed his head toward the mother, then spoke, carefully. "We need to talk. About him. The man." She nodded. "Who was he?" Varn asked. "Where did he come from?" "I don't know," she whispered. "He didn't tell me his name, he just looked at my son and knew exactly what to do." Varn sat beside her. "There are whispers, stories, that he's not from our time, not even from this version of humanity." "What are you saying?" Varn hesitated, then said, "What if the man who saved your son was from the first Earth era? Long ago, before Earth fell to war and division, some humans vanished. Some said they died. Others believed they went into deep space carrying forbidden knowledge with them. Tech that could bend biology, reshape time, even restart a dying heart. Those humans were later called by one name in galactic history books: the Forgotten, outlaws, shadows, ghosts, and now, one of them had returned." In the Council war room, above the planet's orbit, a tall alien general slammed her fist on the table. "I want that human captured." "But General Vera," a commander argued, "he didn't attack us. He saved a life, a child." The general's red eyes burned. "You fool, that's exactly what makes him dangerous. If he can bring the dead back, imagine what he could do on a battlefield." There was silence. Then a voice came from the shadows. It was an ancient diplomat, older than anyone in the room. "I remember those humans. One of them saved me long ago. He looked just like this man." "You've seen him before?" Vera asked. The old one nodded slowly. "Not him, but his kind. And trust me, if he's truly returned, this galaxy is about to change forever." Elsewhere, in the deepest part of the city, a forbidden archive opened for the first time in 200 years. Only high-level leaders could enter. Inside were holograms of long-lost humans, soldiers, healers, and scientists who vanished after the collapse. One image blinked. The face matched the man from the hospital. Underneath his image, a single name was listed: Project Seraphim, Human Class O, Omega. Status: vanished. At the same moment, across the stars, a signal reached a hidden moon. A woman sat alone there, wearing Earth-style armor, scarred and silent. Her eyes were closed, but when the message came through, she stood. The message was only 3 words: "He is awake." She picked up her blade and whispered, "Then we begin again." Back in the boy's room, the child suddenly sat up. "Mama." "Yes, my heart. They're coming. For him. For me." She touched his cheek. "No one will take you. Not again." The boy looked toward the window. and smiled. He's already making a path. The boy was healing faster than any known alien child. In fact, too fast. Within just 1 day, the bruises on his small body were gone. His skin, once pale, now had a faint glow, like stars trapped beneath the surface. His eyes were brighter, his voice stronger. Even the machines around him started acting strange. Monitors reset themselves. Lights flickered when he smiled. Medical scanners gave no reading at all. Dr. Varn and Nurse Ilari stood silently in front of the newest test results. "It's not possible," Varn whispered. Ilari nodded slowly. "We ran the DNA scan 10 times. The results were clear. The child was no longer just alien. He now carried a strand of something ancient, something human." In the dim medical archive room, Ilari opened the file again. "Genetic match found. Classified. Human Omega. Project Seraphim. What is this project?" she asked. Dr. Varn replied quietly. "It was erased from public history centuries ago. Only stories remain. About humans who were built. Not born. Soldiers. Healers. Weapons of peace. The last hope before Earth collapsed." "But this child was born 6 years ago," Ilari said. "There's no way, unless..." Varn looked toward the glowing crystal the boy still kept beside him. "The man who saved him didn't just heal him, he changed him." The mother sat by her son's bed, brushing his soft hair gently. She felt his heartbeat, steady, warm, stronger than ever before. She thought about that day 6 years ago in the fertility chamber of the colony. They told her she was part of a gene match program, an experiment to help single alien women conceive strong children through unknown donors. The donor had been human. She never asked questions. Now looking at her son, she realized the donor wasn't just any human. He was the one who walked into the hospital 6 years later and saved his own son. Outside the hospital walls, ships circled above the planet. Agents in black armor monitored every movement inside. News of the child had spread, but not to the public, only to those who watched the stars carefully and feared the return of the Omega-class humans. Inside a dark meeting room on the orbiting fleet, a female commander shouted, "He's creating another one, another Seraphim." One elder alien leaned forward and asked calmly, "And what if the galaxy needs one again?" The boy woke up that night without pain. He looked at the glowing crystal. It hovered above the table now, on its own. He held out his hand. The crystal floated into his palm. Suddenly, his eyes filled with soft light. His chest glowed faintly. Words began to appear in his mind, like a dream speaking to him in whispers. "You are not broken. You are reborn. The fire in your blood comes from stars long forgotten. He gave you the code. Now, you must become the key." The next morning, when the doctors checked him again, something shocking happened. The scanner that had failed before now lit up with new symbols. Symbols not from any alien language. They were old Earth runes, military design, only known to ancient Terran engineers. Access granted, status unit activated, name Orion 9, subtype healer empath class. Link established. The machine connected not to hospital systems, but to something off-world. The mother watched in awe as a hologram appeared from the crystal. It showed her the human man's face again, calm, strong, and silent. "He is my son," the hologram said, "and I gave him a gift, so he would never die forgotten like I was." Tears ran down the mother's cheeks. "You were his donor," she whispered. "You came back to finish what you started." The hologram paused. "No, I came back because he called to me, and because war is coming. Elsewhere, deep in the forbidden asteroid libraries of the High Watchers, an alert blinked. A name appeared on the long-dead Omega list. Orion 9, active project. Rebirth. Initiated. The ancient beings looked at each other. The line of Omega has returned. Back on the hospital floor, Ilari stared at the boy. He didn't look like a soldier. He didn't look like a weapon. He looked like a child, But when he opened his eyes again and looked into hers, she felt it. This child would one day choose between saving the galaxy or ending it, and the only one who could guide him now was the human who had vanished into thin space. The sun above the station's artificial sky never rose that day. The system kept it in twilight, on purpose. The hospital had been placed under full lockdown. Guards stood at every exit. Scanners hovered in the halls. Surveillance drones floated silently like mechanical birds watching from the shadows. Everyone inside the building could feel it. Something was coming. Inside the child's room, the mother packed a small bag quickly. The boy sat calmly on the bed holding the glowing crystal, which now responded to his every movement. "Mama, they'll come for me today," he said softly. "I won't let them take you," she whispered, her hands shaking. Nurse Alari rushed into the room. "They've activated Code Black," she said in a hurry. "Evacuation is no longer allowed. No one in, no one out. They're afraid of your son." The boy tilted his head. "They should be." Ilari blinked. "What do you mean?" He looked at her with glowing golden eyes. "Because I'm waking up." In the main control center of the hospital, General Vera stood tall with a squad of Galactic Force troopers. "We move in 5 minutes," she barked. "Secure the boy. Do not engage with the mother unless necessary. And if that human returns, shoot on sight." "But General," one officer whispered, "the boy has done nothing wrong." Vera narrowed her red eyes. "Exactly. That's what makes him dangerous. People like him, they don't need to do anything to start a war. They are the war." The mother tried to escape through the lower floors, but security sealed every door. The walls hummed with lockdown energy fields. Every escape route ended in failure. Suddenly, a vent near the side of the hallway opened by itself. A soft voice echoed from the crystal. "Turn left. Go down. He's waiting." The mother didn't ask who. She grabbed her son and followed the light down a hidden path into the old emergency tunnels, forgotten by most but still alive with flickering lights and ancient smells. Above them, Vera's squad stormed the room. "She's gone," one shouted. "Search all floors. Now!" But they were already too late. Deep underground, in a wide tunnel lined with pipes and rusted walls, the mother stopped. The boy raised the crystal. "Here," he said. From the shadows, a door opened, and the human was there, standing tall, calm, silent. His eyes met the mother's, and for the first time she didn't feel fear. She felt safety. "You came back," she whispered. "I never left," he said. The human knelt beside the boy. "You've changed," he said quietly. The boy nodded. "You gave me a part of you. Now I can hear them." "Them?" The boy touched the crystal to the floor. A hologram opened. Maps, symbols, galaxies. A pathway appeared, leading to something called the Arc Star, hidden Omega Vault. The human's eyes narrowed. They found it. Suddenly, the ceiling shook. Explosions above, heavy boots. The authorities were using force now. No more questions. The human looked at the mother. "You have to trust me." "I already did." 6 years ago, she said. The boy stepped forward, calm. "They're scared of me. Should I be scared of them?" The human placed a hand on his head. "No, but they should be scared of what they created." The boy smiled, just slightly. Up above, General Vera stood before a sealed blast door. "Breach." "It," she ordered. A trooper placed a charge. "Yes, General." But before they could detonate, the floor beneath them glowed and opened. Gravity flipped, alarms screamed, a wind of energy pushed them back, and from the light, the human stepped, out with the child beside him. No weapons, just the crystal pulsing like a heart. Vera raised her gun. "Stop." The human spoke for the first time in front of them all. "He's not your enemy. He's your second chance." Vera hesitated, but her weapon didn't. A soldier behind her fired. The blast hit the human straight in the chest. The mother screamed. The boy closed his eyes, and everything froze. Literally. Time stopped. The air froze mid-motion. The bullet hovered in space. Everyone stood still, except the boy. He walked forward, calm, eyes shining like twin suns. He placed his hand on the human's chest. Not today. The wound closed. The human gasped for breath. Time snapped back. The bullet dropped to the floor, harmless. Gasps echoed around them. The soldiers lowered their guns. Some fell to their knees. Vera stood silent, unable to speak. The human placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. He's not a weapon. He's a healer. But if you force him to choose, you'll see the side you weren't meant to. The galaxy didn't change in a single moment. It changed because of a single boy who should have died, and a human who shouldn't have existed. Now, both stood side by side, under the shattered roof of the hospital, where soldiers had dropped their weapons, and leaders had run out of words. The boy looked around. His small body stood firm. His eyes no longer looked like a child's. They glowed like memory and future combined. "I didn't want this," he said. "I only wanted to live." The human beside him nodded. "That's why you must lead, not with strength, but with truth." The galactic general Vera stood frozen. Her voice finally cracked. "What are you?" The boy stepped forward slowly. "What you feared for too long, and what you lost when you chased power. I'm proof that life still surprises us." That night, the space station entered an uneasy silence. No battle came, no commands were given. Instead, across hundreds of colonies, something strange happened. Children began to dream about a boy with golden eyes and a crystal in his hand. Some said they heard music. Others felt warmth in their sleep. Doctors in hospitals found that sick patients were suddenly recovering, faster than any drug could manage. Plants grew quicker. Wounds closed smoother. And machines started responding to voice commands they weren't programmed to understand. Every system that connected to the old Earth archives flashed a single message: the Omega line is active. In the days that followed, the mother and her son were moved quietly to a secret garden planet, one untouched by war or greed. It was a gift from the same council that had once tried to trap them. They were no longer prisoners. They were protected. But the human? He left, as silently as he had come. No one saw which ship he used. No trail. No goodbye. Just the memory of his voice and the strange calm he carried like a cloak. Alari, the nurse, kept searching for his identity. But even when she searched the deepest classified files, his name was always the same. Unknown human. Restricted level. Legacy. Status. Watcher. The boy, now living in peace, began writing. He didn't play like other children. He wrote stories. Stories of stars, of life, of kindness, of humans and aliens not being enemies, but protectors of each other. And every story ended with the same message. One day, someone will come when you need them most. You won't know their name, but you'll know they were meant to be there. Years passed. The galaxy slowly shifted. Alien races once at war sat at the same table. Weapons grew dusty and, on many planets, statues were built, not of warriors or kings, but of a small boy holding a crystal, and a nameless human walking beside him. But in the far edge of space, where stars whisper to each other in secret frequencies, a ship rested. Inside, the same human stood, now older, watching over new systems. He spoke softly into the dark. "You changed them, Orion. You made them remember what hope looks like." A second voice, female, spoke beside him. "You trained him well." The human turned. "He trained me." They watched as a new generation of children, both alien and human, played together on a green world below, and on that planet, the boy, no longer a child, stood in the middle of a crowd surrounded by laughter and light. Someone asked him, "Do you remember the day they said you died?" He smiled. I remember the day I came back. Because in the end, he wasn't just a miracle. Wasn't just an experiment. He wasn't even just a boy. He was a beginning, and beginnings and change everything.